you go. I'm looking forward to this. This is actually like I'm liking this. So we were talking about, are there legends that when you load into a game with them make you feel this is going to be one epic game? Or are there legends that make you feel I suppose I have to cope with this? Like just that sort of feeling. Now, you might be able to see from the pictures, they've done it in alphabetical order. We're going to do it based on when they were released. So rather than doing Ash first, which I think is one of the first ones, we're doing Bloodhound first. We're finishing off with Catalyst. We're going to build up this tier list, see how we get on. Now, there's factors that we're putting into play in this. How likely are they to steal loot? And what I mean by that is you're at a supply bin, you open it, right, and they nick all the stuff from there. How likely are they to do that? How likely are they to ping constantly? You can tell that there's some trouble here, can't you? How likely are they to disconnect from the game unkindly, unprofessionally? And lastly, that's the negatives, but also how helpful are they? How, we mentioned about unnecessary pinging. How about those that ping perfectly, know the right things to be pinging, know how to be pinging, and everything like that? We're also going to look at those that whose skills help out the team. There are some skills that are very selfish, but the skills that help out the team. And we're going to use all those sort of factors to rank them. Now, I might put this elsewhere apart from Twitch, so if anyone watches this, VOD or anything like that, this is purely my opinion, maybe with contributions from chat. And this is a one that you can see yourself. We'll put links on there of how you can show your own, and sort of share the fun, share the chaos. So that is exactly what we are going to do. This is entirely my opinion. You are very welcome to disagree in any comments that you make or anything like that. But it's a small community opinion, basically, more than anything else. So, the first one we got to look at is Bloodhound. Now, let's start off with the positives for Bloodhound. So, the thing that works well for Bloodhound, their scans are brilliant. Okay? A Bloodhound that knows how to scan can literally be a lifesaver. Just knowing where an enemy is, both for defense and attack. If you're struggling and you see that scan, you know to stay away. If you're looking for the enemy to attack, that scan can really help you to figure out a strategy, even if you're not talking to each other, of right, who's going to do what, who's going to flank, who's going to, right? Absolutely fantastic stuff from Bloodhound. That's the good stuff. The sort of neutral stuff is the Beast of the Hunt, the ultimate. Now, don't get me wrong, those that play it well know how to do a clutch game. I've seen experts do Bloodhound, Beast of the Hunt. They know how to do a clutch game, but there's a good portion of players that do not understand that ultimate, myself included. I hate it when I have to do it, right? So I view that as a bit of a neutral skill. It's been helpful, but in the past not. Now, the negative I would say about Bloodhound is this. Those that are particular, like there are some Bloodhound players. Now, I don't know if it's skill level or anything like that, right? That ping everything. I don't know if anyone's played Bloodhound, but you see everything that other people have done, right? If there's an area you're about to walk into that had a team, even if it was a team that was there 45 seconds ago, so are nowhere near anymore because they've flown away, you know, it shows for you. And you can ping all those spots. Someone travelled through here. And this is the thing. You will see some matches with Bloodhounds. You'll hear some matches with Bloodhounds where all you hear the entire game is someone travelled through here recently. I don't give a shit. I don't care. And so it gets to the point, you know that thing of the boy who cries wolf? There might be one or two bits of information that Bloodhound gave that was very useful, but I didn't hear it amongst all the rubbish. So, for that reason, with all those things in gut, right, I think I'm going to put Bloodhound in the meh category, the middle category, because I don't really have a first impression from a Bloodhound. They could be good, they could be bad. I don't feel anything negative. I don't feel anything majorly positive. That's probably started the very first argument already. Now, the next one is Gibraltar. By the way, if you guys like the pictures I've got for them, then show some love. There you go, drunk it all now. Don't have to worry about me talking and chatting. So, Gibraltar. One of the great things, firstly, about Gibraltar is that gun shield. Now, that might seem like a very selfish skill, and it is, but the really cool thing about a Gibraltar gun shield, which is basically when you put up the gun, it puts a shield in front of the gun, right? It means it's harder to break that Gibraltar down. That means more focus on the Gibraltar. That means you've got a chance as a team to overrun another. It almost counts as a fourth member of the team, the gun shield. It is incredible to view, right? The dome of protection as well. A good defense, a great defense. And the fact that they're fortified, again, that thing of the fourth person. The defensive bombardment as well, the full out attack, almost an airstrike on the opposition. It's a good attack. It's probably really cool, really OP. And Gibraltar was one of the absolute favourites when Apex first came out in terms of the way he was. Yes, his movement's not the quickest, but that's all in one good. The weakness for me is the dome of protection. Now, I just said it was a good thing. Why do I mean it's a bad thing? It makes it obvious to everybody else there's an enemy squad there. I've seen situations with Gibraltar's where a third squad attacks or anything like that because they've done the dome of protection, because it's visible to everybody. And so sometimes it means that what started off as a one-on-one has now just become a siege and quite scary. That said, though, that is a very small, niggly little thing, right? So, Gibraltar is going into the cautiously optimistic category. Whenever I see a Gibraltar, I feel confident. I do not feel stressed. It's just that thing of the small little thing that just stops it being perfect. And it's not Gibraltar's fault, it's not the player's fault. But that's just how I feel. Next one is, and I gotta do the accent, it's Lifeline. share. Lifeline there. Right. Now I love Lifeline. I do love Lifeline. The heal drone, brilliant. Can mean you don't have to stress so much about having syringes or med kits. Fantastic. The combat revive. Just the combat revive itself. Any player that plays Lifeline normally will go on a near-on suicide mission to try and revive you. I love that dedication from Lifelines. Because with the combat revive, they can get you reviving and they can be attacking somebody else at the same time. They don't have to worry about doing the full-on revive, right? They don't have to think about it as much, right? And that I love. Absolutely love. And the care package as well. Very useful. Very, very useful. The only sort of downside to Lifeline's care package, though, is if anyone's seen where a couple of people do a care package, it can sometimes feel like a bit of a free for all when there's no organisation. It's loot. Like, I see it, I want it all. And so what happens is the care package is called in, and then everyone fights over it. There's not really an organisation, despite the fact that there is actually organisation in that Apex package, in that care package. The Evo shield that's there is to buff up the person who's weakest in the team. There's always a sort of shield battery or something like that to help someone who hasn't got it, and there's normally an addition, I think, as well that helps out the person who hasn't got it. It should be straightforward. It should be organised. It just never is. And so it's almost like no fault of Lifelines here. It's entirely the fault of the teammates if they don't know what they're doing, which is me. On that. But for that reason, I mean, it's very close. I almost want to put Lifeline in top tier, but I can't. So Lifeline is going into the cautiously optimistic category along with Gibraltar. Again, probably gonna be causing some upset there. Next one is the robot himself, Pathfinder. Now, Pathfinder. Reminder of the skills again. The survey beacons can be used by Pathfinder. Extremely useful because it allows you to get the tactical advantage, knowing where the next ring's going to end up. That's cool. The grappling hook as well, in some circumstances, can be really useful. It's one of those where they can be useful, but 9 times out of 10 they're not. And that's the real rough thing, is Pathfinder is a very cool solo character. If they brought back Apex Solos, Pathfinder would be such a cool one to play. But it doesn't feel like very much a team play. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not. I don't think they're at bottom tier. I still am like, yeah, you could be good. You could be really helpful right now. But yeah, for that reason, I'm going to put Pathfinder in the please be good. I don't think you will, though. Because it is just that it's a really a hope. It's not really a fear. It's not really a thought, really. Next up, Wraith. Now, Wraith has got some cool abilities. Wraith has got the Whispers, which can tell her if someone's aiming or shooting, anything like that. Now, I want to say, first of all, what I'm basing this information on is public matches. I know competitive matches, people are a lot quicker on the draw, and by the time you've heard the whisper, it is way too late. But publics are normally, pubs are a little bit different, right? So that information is extremely useful, particularly if you use a one of the teammates. It allows them to go, right, we need to be on guard now. We need to start switching on, right? So that is a really, really useful thing to have. The Dimensional Rift as well, that is a very useful skill to have. It's just not used that often. Now, in Dimensional Rift is basically Wraith creates a portal for everybody else. But Wraith is exposed the entire time with no weapons. So no one really likes to use it. So that is a bit of a frustration. It's one of those, it could be really useful, it's just never used. Into the Void, that could sound like a very selfish one, this one, the Into the Void. The opportunity to almost disappear and appear somewhere else. You know, similar to the Portal, but you completely disappear. I've seen Wraiths do incredible flanking with that. Incredible flanking. You know, that thing of just like you feel like you're struggling, and then all of a sudden they've been shot from behind and they don't know what's happened, what's hit them, and it's Wraith. The one thing that also has to be said is the constant DCing. Wraiths, if they get killed, DC, they don't give people an opportunity to collect their banner, which is rough. Really rough. Now, that is annoying, because I love Wraith, and based on what I'd said before the DC thing, I would have gone, okay, I'm fine with putting Wraith in the Those Legends meh category. Because it's almost like the perfect Wraith is like really good, but 9 times out of 10 they're not, right? Unfortunately, Wraith, I'm going to have to put you in the please be good. I don't think you will, though. I am so sorry, Wraith. I just have to do that. Which is rough. Bangalore's next. Bangalore. Right. Let's do the easy one. The Rolling Thunder for the opposition can make them panic like shit. It is stressful, which means as a team, when you see it on the opposition, it gives you a little bit more comfort and hope and everything like that. You do have to be careful. It could hit you. It could get friendly fire, but if you think you're all right. The double time is a bit of a selfish one. You know, it's being able to sprint quicker if you've been hit, but could be useful if you're under fire and wanting to come to someone's aid or anything like that. So I would count that as a bit of a 50-50. Then you have the smoke launcher. Now, the smoke launcher is a very interesting one because, on the one hand, in one very specific set of circumstances, it is hugely useful. In another set of specific circumstances, it is not just useless, but downright dangerous. So let's start off with the positive, because that's what we like to do. The positive is, if you have been downed, or if you have been killed, then that smoke is a great way for Bangalore to recover your banner. If you see smoke around you, them firing smoke, and you're close by, guess what? Your banner's being picked up. Because they're doing that for distraction. It is a great protection technique. I love it, right? However, when you are alive and firing, unless, by the way, you've got a Bloodhound that's scanned or a Seer that's scanned, we're coming up to Seer later on, you're also blind. The amount of times I've seen a teammate do the smoke thing and I've been firing and then I've lost them. I completely lost them, right? Which is annoying. But Bangalore is a great teammate to have. It's just that sort of thing. So, Bangalore, they're between meh and cautiously optimistic. I'm going to go for cautiously optimistic. Again, that's a very close one, and that could cause problems. I don't care. It's my stream. In fact, no, I'm changing my mind. I'm putting them in meh. You don't know why I've done that. Right, Caustic's nest, Mr. Gassy. Now, one of the skills of Caustic is about vision, everything like that. It helps him, right? He does have fortified as well. Great plus. Like Gibraltar, it adds an extra half member of the team almost. Fantastic, right? I'm not going to focus almost on the skills on this one. Focus on the people that play Caustic, right? Caustic. And they are brilliant teammates. They are. If you've ever played with a Caustic, you know that the type of person they are most of the time is someone that is thoughtful. They think ahead. Trust me, they're playing 4D chess, sometimes 5D chess. They know a way to protect themselves against other enemies. They are great teammates to have. If I see a Caustic, I'm like going, someone knows what they're doing here. I am happy with that. Brilliant, right? This one makes me sad because if I could stop there, I could put them in the top tier. That this is going to be one awesome game. That's it, the end. There's one negative though, and the really annoying thing is this is not the player's fault. This is not the way they are, but it's the way that things have been developed. Unless you are really well versed in the game, it is quite hard to differentiate between your team's traps and the enemy's traps. They are so similar, right? And it's strange because when if I talk traps of any other character, like Catalyst, for example, I'm trying to think of any others that might go under this spell as well. Can't think of any, but we will come to some, I'm sure. There's a very clear distinction. Oh, sorry, Watson, right? It's blue and red. Blue good, red bad. The caustics are all red. All of them are red. And by the way, if you set off your team's traps, you don't feel the after effects of it if you're not caustic, right? You do feel the after effects of the opposition. And that's a bit that annoys me of that because it's like we could have an incredibly great teammate, but Respawn have made it good, not great. So he's going in the cautiously optimistic channel. It's very close, that one, and I feel rough for doing that because it's not their fault. Then we come to the self-proclaimed star of the show, Mirage. Mirage. The type of people that play Mirage like to have a bit of fun. Chaos. And it is quite fun to actually play them, right? And play against them. The other thing is they have a skill very much like Lifeline that means that players want to do reviving. They go invisible. Everyone goes invisible when they're doing a revive. Fantastic to see. Really useful. You feel safe when you're being revived by a Mirage. Not only that, if a Mirage gets knocked down, they glitch and the opponent struggles to find them to start off with. Brilliant, right? The single decoy as well. Brilliant. Great use when it's used well. And makes it again very, very interesting. There is one thing, by the way, that sort of really frustrates me because it's a double downer for me, and that's this. And this is probably me talking as an autistic, not just neurodivergent, not just an Apex gamer. Sorry. the life of the party, the one where he sends out about 50 of himself all the way, when you're playing against opposition and you see that, I lose track of the opposition, the opposite team. I lose track. And so him doing the life of the party means I'm in danger because I've stopped shooting, which is annoying. So my personal feeling for Mirage is he's a meh. And that sucks for me. Right. No one in the top, no one in the bottom tier yet. That's interesting, isn't it? Next up. Oh boy. Octane. Octane, Octane, Octane. Positive for Octane. The stim, on the off chance, becomes useful for recovering a banner. That's it, I've said the positive. Octanes are the most annoying people in the world and should be. The only reason why Octane isn't banned as an Apex legend is so that we can identify who those annoying people are. I am yet to find. No, I've had one match, sorry. I've had one match with an Octane where they haven't pinged like a hyperactive kid or done the loot steal that I was talking about, where they just take everything, which means that they've got all the ammo, all the guns, and the rest of the team have got nothing. They are annoying as hell. I cannot stand them. It is frustrating. I bet you can tell where I'm putting Octanes, can't you? Do you know what's annoying about this one? Octanes are the most chosen. Octane is a very selfish player. Again, like Pathfinder, they are probably incredible to play as during a solo. But as a teammate, my heart instantly sinks when I see an Octane. I'm saying that it is hell. Get there quickly. You're dead. Right. We have Watson, yeah, next. So, Watson. So, let's start with the really easy one. Like the Lifelines drone, health drone. Watson's interception pylon, the shield generator, is so useful. Doubly useful if you're a Vantage or you like using snipers, because then you can use a Sentinel and you can stock up like nothing else on shield cells and use that just to charge the Sentinel. You don't have to worry about your own shields because Watson's going to have you covered. Brilliant. The perimeter security as well, really good at capturing multiple ground. It is fantastic at sieging people or protecting things. When I found it really annoying to play against this, which means as a team you would love it. When we did the train wreck thing, Watson would protect the train with the fences. So the first part of trying to capture the train is breaking down the fences, and by that time you've got Watson's attention, you're in danger, and it's fantastic for that, right? So Watson, for me, is a really great player to play with. And actually, to be quite honest, I don't really have anything negative to say about it because I can even add on top Watson's voice character is so freaking cute. So freaking cute. I adore Watson and want to marry her. Um, so Watson is going top tier. We have our very first top tier legend. Watson, thank you very much. We have Crypto next. Now, Crypto for me is a similar level to Bangalore in terms of scans and everything like that. Brilliant in terms of that. Add on to that, Drone EMP, brilliant as well, right? The recon beacons as well, another good one. And the surveillance drone, if you think that Lifeline and Mirage Light doing revives, well, the surveillance drone can actually pick up the respawn beacons for you, can pick up the allied banner card. Like, literally, Crypto doesn't even have to anywhere near the respawn beacons to respawn anybody. He could literally, like, if you died in different areas, he could get the drone, travel to those areas, pick the banners up, go over to the respawn beacon, sorted, right? Crypto's in no danger. And so a Crypto used well is really, really well. Really good. And if you have a Crypto as a teammate, you feel good. The only thing is that support that makes me go, like, how much is it supporting the team? Crypto is one of those. He's a really good clutch player. If you two are dead, he can help out. But more than that, it's a little bit of a tricky one. So, for that reason, I'm putting Crypto in the cautiously optimistic category. He's not going to let us down. He's not going to abandon us. But we're not going to get anything special unless we need clutch, basically. Revenant's next. Revenant. Now, I might be quite biased here because of one of the next characters that come out. But we'll see. We will see. Revenants. Alright, let's start with the easy bit. The attacking traps that Revenant can do. The silence, which is the thing that stops, damages enemies and takes off their shields, brilliant. Crouch walking and climbing walls means they can be a good sniper as well. And the death totem is great for the team because then you can get a second chance. I'm putting Revenant in the meh category though. That is a bit of bias, which you will see probably in a couple of minutes why. But yeah, I'm going to put him in meh. Them in meh. And the reason why I'm putting a bit of a downer on is because of the next character, Loba. I freaking adore Loba. And anyone who's seen the lore knows that Loba and Revenant are the worst enemies, and that's the reason why I couldn't be kind to Revenant. Shame, isn't it? Now, here's the thing. Loba's skills are fantastic for the team and her. If you have a Loba on your team, particularly if you're on voice chat with a Loba, you know where the good areas are. She knows where the good loot is. And again, when it comes to playing clutch, she's got the burglar's best friend, the bracelet, which means she can escape. Brilliant, fantastic, couldn't be better. The black market boutique as well. Good for getting that extra loot that perhaps you can't find, the top tier loot. Brilliant, right? And in fact, Lobie can do things where she can break into areas that are locked, which is useful as well. A little bit of a... So there's one thing that is a me problem, and one thing that's a Loba problem. So the me problem isn't going to affect things, but I have to say it. The Loba problem is going to affect things. So I will talk about the Loba problem first, and then as I'm scoring it, I will talk about the me problem. The Loba problem is this. Because Loba can see the top tier loot, if we go to an area, the best I'm going to do is pick up the scraps. I'm not getting the best stuff. I'm not going to get it, right? I can accept that. So it's not going to be an awesome game, but I'm optimistic I can accept it, right? So I'm going to be putting it into the cautiously optimistic. The me problem is Loba's ass. I can't believe I just said that. She's stunning. If you walk behind her, you're distracted. You are incredibly distracted. That ass is tight. Anyways, Rampart. The ready for the mezza. Now, Rampart played well, can be incredible. I got kill leader with Rampart and won as kill leader with Rampart, and I was incredibly proud of that. Rampart also loves the LMGs, and you know to play with that. You know, if you're a teammate to a Rampart, you will make sure that you ping a couple of LMGs for her to have some fun with. Brilliant stuff. The amped cover as well is really good. That's what I've managed to use, and it's a great defense for the teams. Very useful if you know how to work with it. And Sheila is just chaos. I love Sheila, right? What does that do for her? I don't know, but I am going to readjust these. Putting Revenant lower down. Can't believe I've just done that. Rampart, I'm going to put in the mech category, I think. I enjoy it. I enjoy playing with the Rampart. I love playing with the Rampart, but just doesn't help me that much. Horizon's a funny one. A really funny one for me. People have said she's incredible. I'm not sure. Let's start off with the spacewalk, because that's the one that confuses me the most. The air control, brilliant. Reduces fall impacts. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen someone get bad thing from him falling and hitting the ground. There's no damage caused by that. So I'm not sure where the strength comes in that. So that is a bit of a struggle. The black hole thing, by the way, though, brilliant, right? Sucks people in. You know where the enemies are going to be because they're struggling to get away from that black hole. The gravity lift for me doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. I can't make use of it. That's a me problem. I know that, but it means it sort of brings it a frustrated side of things. I can't take advantage of it, which is a shame because it means that it puts Horizon in the mech category as well. Now we have got 8 legends left. And seeing it so far means I feel a little bit more positive about Apex than I thought I did. I was worried that I was really struggling with Apex, right? Now I'm like going, yeah, I think I'm doing okay. I've got one I really don't like, and it is the most popular, which is doubly annoying, but I like what I'm seeing so far. Next up is the guy that I base my looks off, Fuse. Sorry, Fuse. Don't get your knickers in a twist. All that sort of thing. Now, you know that Kings Canyon map? The one that is currently off the rotation. Fuse is clutch at that. You throw him into a really intense area, and his knuckle clusters are brilliant, right? His knuckle clusters are still brilliant, by the way. Right? They're not bad. So I like that. The mortar flare, again useful at trapping people, just sometimes not used that well. So, annoyingly is my main, or was my main. I'm putting Fuse in meh. Feeling a bit rough now, aren't they? Oh well. So next up is Valkyrie. Valkyrie. Now, let's do this well. The missile swarm is a great way of scaring people away. Brilliant. And we've spoken about the recon beacons. Again, useful. Skyward dive is probably so clutch. If you're in a real bit of trouble, that gets you in another area. Brilliant, right? You bring that out as a team. The thing that lets Valkyrie down, which stops it from being an awesome game and makes it a cautiously optimistic game, is the problem with the jets. Now, one of the problems is that it's static. It's going to be the case, which is that can be very consistent, right? But the other thing is, I'd like it for those jets to be silent. I don't want to be alerting other enemies that there's opposition flying through the area around them. I want them to be surprised by it, and because it'd be then a great escape thing as well. Again, it just puts it in the optimistic. It doesn't do anything bad to it. It just puts it in the optimistic category. How are you feeling about this so far? Next up is Seer, the focus of this event. Now, Seer for me is brilliant. He's Bloodhound 2.0. His scans, his heart, everything like that is really good, and he doesn't have to do the constant pinging. And very, very clever, interrupting enemies, messing around, that sort of thing, right? And the Heart Seeker tells people where people are. Great use for Seer. I love Seer. I've got plenty of time for Seer. He is going into top category. We've got Wattson and Seer in the top category right now. How are you feeling now? Ash is next. Phase Breach, good teleportation device. You know, I was talking about Wraith in terms of her portal that she makes so everybody else exposes her. Ashes is quick. People use it regularly. It is great for that, right? It's a great clutch for the team to freak others out. Great. The arc snare as well. Another one. Traps enemies, helps means that they can't get away. The marks for death for me is incredible. A great opportunity to expose where enemies are by marking death boxes. And if you are an Ashe and you don't do this already, look out for those death boxes. They are essential for the way you play. And that's it in terms of Ashe. There's nothing, again, like Corsic, they are thoughtful people. They think ahead. They do things well, right? And that brings her into top tier. Now I got Mad Maggie. Now, 4 left. Warlord's Ire, the shotgun thing, is I liked it, right? Very useful for a self thing, and I struggle with shotguns unless I'm Mad Maggie. So if I see Mad Maggie, I'm like, well, you're going to be having shotguns. That works well for me. The right drill as well, very much like the Knuckle Cluster, damaging enemies. It adds an extra little bit of intensity to the opposition that scares them off, right? The Wrecking Ball as well, good little bit of damage, everything like that. The only thing for me is any Mad Maggie player goes full in everything like that, and and that's just like a standard intention, I think. If I play Mad Maggie, I always go all in as well, right? And it just sort of wrecks it a little bit. Cautiously optimistic. 3 left. Newcastle's next. Now, Newcastle is a great healer. Don't get me wrong on that. Castle Wall, the Mobile Shield, the Retrieve the Wounded, all really good stuff, and the Fortified, really good stuff. Now, this is interesting because a lot of people put him above Gibraltar, but there just doesn't feel that much of a special edge for Newcastle for me, which puts him in the meh category. I have 2 left now. Vantage. Recon, good. What I've seen a lot with Vantage is they don't pick up the snipers. A lot of them. I know one that does. Syria does. I like to, but I don't see a lot that do. They pick up the close stuff all the time, and it's really hard to play against. It's that other thing as well. The sniper's mark. It's obvious to everybody else. The laser sight is on them and everything like that. Should that be thinner so it's not as obvious? I think so. And so I don't think people play her well on like 50% of the time. I'm putting her in the please be good. I don't think you will though. I've seen Vantages that have really helped me out, but not often. And last, we have Catalyst. Piercing spikes are clever. Very nice. The barricade, very nice. You can protect yourselves. That's great stuff, right? The Dark Veil is weird. For me, it's like the Bloodhound one. It's not the Bloodhound, the Bangalore one. It messes me up. The only way I think it'd be useful is if maybe it does happen, and I don't know. But I end up blinded if I walk through my own Catalyst thing as a teammate. And I can't shoot through it. I think it should be allowed that you can shoot through it easier than they can. It's an ultimate for a reason. It's almost like Catalyst has been downplayed a little bit and everything like that. Which means that it's a shame because I adore Catalyst. I think she should have been really good and OP and very enjoyable to play. She goes meh. she goes meh, which hurts a lot. So that is the list. That is the list. So just to run down the list. Top tier. No, let's go bottom to top so that we can build the positivity. The most annoying, the one I wish would never appear ever again in a game whatsoever, is Octane. The ones where I am, it's probably going to be a bad one, is Pathfinder, Wraith, Revenant, and Vantage. The Met Legends, where I don't really have any personal feeling about, because I've had really good ones and I've had really bad ones, are Bloodhound, Bangalore, Mirage, Rampart, Horizon, Fuse, Newcastle, and Catalyst. The ones I'm feeling cautiously optimistic about: the Gibraltars, the Lifelines, the Corsicks, the Cryptos, Loba, Vantage, and Mad Maggie. And those top tier that if I see them in my team, I'm feeling great, is Watson, Sia, and Ash. But what would you think? Do you agree or do you disagree? Be interested in your thoughts.